We're going to talk about the right hand, or the plucking hand, we should say. This would be the right hand for right-handed players. The finger labels are important on the right hand. Different than other instruments, if you studied violin or piano, instead of numbers, we use letters for the right hand. The thumb is letter P. The index is I, M for middle, and A for the ring finger. So P, I, M, A. Those are our main 4 plucking fingers. The pinky finger, the little finger of the right hand, is seldom used. It's used in Spanish flamenco style playing to do a type of strumming where they flick the fingers out. We won't be doing that in this course. So we will be using the thumb, index, middle, and the ring finger. P, I, M, A. Those are the first letters of the names of the finger in Spanish. The first books on how to play the guitar were published in Spain. In fact, a long time ago, in the year 1536, the first book on how to play a plucked instrument like the guitar was published. So, the shape of your hand is important in plucking. The first thing you want to do is just notice how if you drop your hand to your side, the fingers are naturally curved as if you were holding a grapefruit or a tennis ball. That is the basic position of the fingers that you want. You want them to be gently curved in a natural, relaxed position. So when we pluck, we're going to move the finger from the main knuckle, from the big knuckle. And I'm going to take the index finger, finger I, and notice as I move it into the palm of my hand, I'm really making the motion occur from my big knuckle. Here's the middle finger doing it, right? We're going to alternate index finger, middle finger, index finger, middle finger. Now, when we pluck, we don't actually bring the finger all the way into the palm of our hand. We only do the first part of the movement, because that's wasted energy otherwise. So we're actually going to do some playing right now. So if you don't have your guitar, you might want to pause the video and go grab it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the thumb, letter P, and I'd like you to place it on the 6th string. We're going to rest that. Now, it's important to not touch the guitar anywhere else. This is the only finger that's going to provide stability, that thumb, on the 6th string. Next, we're going to take the index finger and place it on the 1st string. Now, notice how my finger is curved just like it was when I had in the relaxed position, as if I were holding a grapefruit. Now notice how my thumb is sticking out away from my index finger. What you don't want is the thumb tucked under like this. The fingers will end up running into each other. So again, the thumb and the index finger are separated. In fact, you'll notice that if I look at the guitar from a specific angle, that there is almost a triangle shaped between the thumb and that index finger. So this is what you want, this is what you don't want. You don't want the thumb behind the fingers. In fact, the thumb should be pointing up towards the headstock. Okay, so P, thumb, is placed on the 6th, I, the index finger, on the 1st string, and we're going to play our first kind of pluck called a rest stroke. What you're going to do is pluck the string and run into the 2nd string behind the 1st string, like this. Again, I place my index finger on the 1st string, and I'm going to pluck the string by moving the finger from the large knuckle, and I'm going to run into the 2nd string, so that my finger is actually stopped by the 2nd string. It's resting on the 2nd string. That's why we call this a rest stroke. Again, here it is again. Index finger placed on the 1st string, and I pluck the string. Rest stroke. Now let's try the same thing with the middle finger. Rest your thumb on the 6th, place your middle finger on the 1st string, and pluck. Now we're going to try to alternate those. One index, one middle. We're going to do the exercise which is on the top of page 7. And that is basically plucking the first string, alternating with the index finger and then followed by the middle finger. Now notice how when I do that, it's almost as if I'm walking with my fingers. One finger plucks, and that action makes the other finger move up and get ready to pluck. So, thumb on the 6th, index finger on the first string, and we're going to pluck 4 times. First with the index, then with the middle, then with the index, then back to the middle. Here we go, on the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I am. That's 4 rest strokes. And again, as a reminder, notice that I'm only resting my thumb on the 6th string. Bad habit number 1 that you want to avoid is putting your pinky on the face of the guitar in order to stabilize your hand. This does provide stability, but in the long run, it's going to tie your hand up. There's a lot of connective tissue between the small finger, the pinky finger, and the ring finger. And so when you anchor your pinky finger, you're really also anchoring your ring finger. So please avoid trying to place the pinky on the face of the guitar. Let's try now to do 8 rest stroke plucks on the first string. Now, one thing you'll notice is I'm going to count us in like I did before, but I'm not going to continue to count or say anything as we pluck the strings. And I would like you to keep track of how many you pluck so that you don't pluck an extra one after I'm done and you don't pluck too few. We're going to do exactly 8 plucks on the count of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was exactly 8. Now, the easiest way to keep track of that is to either count to 8 or to break it up into more common groups of 4 in this case. That's something that we'll learn as we look at more and more examples. If you look at the text on page 7 of the textbook, we actually see the index, middle, index, middle, index, middle finger letter names written out. You'll want to visually follow those as you pluck them so that you're actually looking at that first index. And then when you pluck the next middle finger, you look at the next N. Right? This is on the top of page 7.